Treatment planning your financial life as a dentist can be incredibly complex. And I'm so grateful to have a sponsor team of advisors that helps our dental community make these decisions with more success and less stress. I want to welcome them to our show, and I'm going to let each one of you guys introduce yourself and tell us what you do to help dentists.
Dan, you kick it off?
Excellent. Yeah, absolutely. My name is Daniel Spickard. I'm actually from Weirton, West Virginia. I work out of the Pittsburgh office. I'm a financial professional, been doing it for over 20 years now. We specialize in the dental market space. So if you ever have any questions about anything, let us know. We actually are extremely excited to be a part of this group. And we are a very education-based group. So, nothing's off limits. And I really look forward to this interview as well.
Awesome. Thanks, we really appreciate having Lifetime Financial Growth support dentists. I don't know if this is surprising to you, but we do not learn a lot about financial planning in dental school or any of the schools before that. But when you graduate, you are faced with making so many decisions, and this is a big part of our community. They're confused, they're concerned, and so thrilled to have you guys help with making them more confident. I'll go to Matt next.
Hi, I'm Matt Binstock, and I'm part of Dan and Frank's team. I have been in the financial industry for 18 years now, all with the same company. And for the past 10 years, I've been working with dentists, and I realized the same thing, Dr. Goodman, that you just realized years ago, that you don't get any education on financial information in dental school. So 10 years ago, I started a mission of starting to provide educational financial wellness information workshops at dental schools and residency programs around the country. And it's been very well received. It's much different than the information that most practice management classes teach in dental school. And so, we've gotten really good feedback and love working with dentists, helping dentists. It's been a really good relationship.
Really appreciate you sharing that. One thing I try to share with people about the dental journey is it's wild. It's like a roller coaster. You go from $300,000 in debt to earning $300,000 in sometimes the span of just 2 years. And that is a pretty wild financial ride. Most other careers don't have that. And it's just understandable to the dental community that they just don't know how to make decisions that are in their best interest. So thrilled to have you here. Frank, we'll go to you next.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us today. This is great. So happy to be part of these the team of these guys. And to piggyback off what they said, education is such a critical component of financial planning because it comes down to trust. Yeah. That's one thing we bump into all the time is that, and that's true for anything. Trust has to be established before, especially when dealing with people's money. It's a sensitive topic, and rightfully so, right? I mean, you work hard for it, and it sustains your lifestyle for you and for your family. And so education behind that is a critical component that we really have incorporated into our process, and happy to share that with everyone here today.
I love that. I tell people our goal is help them be aware, prepared, and more responsibly concerned, which is another word for scared, about their journey. So thrilled to have you here. We're going to kick it off with Matt. I'm going to ask you, Matt, can you describe the philosophy behind building a financial team around a dentist and how it differs from traditional financial advising?
Yeah, the bulk of traditional financial advice that's out there in the world revolves around investments. Investments are an important piece of the financial plan, but as we lay out, a financial plan for someone, there's generally anywhere between 15 and 20 different pieces, investments being one of them. And so, when we're working with a dentist, I think about the philosophy of football. You're wearing your Eagles hoodie today. And one of the things as a diehard Steelers fan that I can say about the Eagles is they're probably the best run organization in football from top to bottom, from the owner to the coaches to the players. They are magnificently run. And when you think about, people's financial teams, generally the dentist owner plays the role of the quarterback, of the offensive and defensive coordinator, of the head coach. He's and of the owner. He's playing all roles. And so you go back and you think about in the NFL, why why did the best quarterbacks of my childhood, Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, why did they have quarterback coaches and
Right.
offensive coordinators and head coaches? As a kid, I used to think about, why isn't Peyton Manning the offensive coordinator? And so, in the dental world, we position ourselves in their world as kind of the head coach. And then we help coordinate their team of positional coaches, offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, special teams coaches. In the financial world, that looks like CPAs, attorneys, investment advisors,
Yep.
bankers, insurance agents, even dental equipment sales reps need to be on the team. They're a great resource. And when we can have all of those people on the same page at the same time, working towards the goals and objectives of the dentist and practice owner, we can run our dental practice a lot more like the Eagles.
I like it. Thanks. I was actually searching for this little thing I was going to poke at the Cowboys fans with, because since 2000, the Eagles have had like 16 playoff appearances, divisional titles, and the Cowboys have just had like 3 playoff appearances. So we needed to get back at them at the time of this recording. It's a sensitive time for Eagles fans. But I think what you're sharing is so key. And I just think the theme of a team, the theme of specialized people on your team, I think, when I talk to dentists, I say, you don't extract all your own impacted wisdom teeth because you know to stay in your own lane. Why do you think that you should be able to figure out how to do, whether it's financial planning, whether it's technology? The DIY component can be disastrous to dentists, not just with financial planning, but with other things that they do when they try to figure out their own Google ads, right? And what happens is they wind up wasting time and money. So I love that you've shared this. Next question I want to go to with Frank is, and I love this question, is there a correct order to these financial decisions?
So short answer, yes.
Sure.
You should follow an order of operations to help set yourself up for financial success, right? And we can put this in terms of building a house, right? So when my wife and I, when we built our first couple of homes, I closely monitored each stage of development from the design to the final inspections, so that when the house was ready for us to move into, I was much more confident in its safety and stability for my kids. And so building a strong financial foundation is like constructing a sturdy home. And we often ask people, what do you think your most valuable asset is? And, many mention their investments or their education, but the real answer is it's yourself,
right.
particularly your ability to earn an income. Because consider what would happen if you couldn't go to work.
Right.
Consider what would happen if your income stopped, right? So the lifestyle that you enjoy is directly tied to your earning capacity. And if that goes out the window, then your lifestyle changes dramatically, unless you protect your income from unexpected events, right? Like an illness or like job loss, to help ensure your financial base is secure. And then you want to focus on maximizing your savings rate, ideally around 20% of your income, and paying yourself first. Now, I can't overstate the importance of this, because paying yourself goes such a long way in taking control of your own financial life and setting yourself up for success. It's simple to understand, but it's not always easily executable, if that makes sense, right?
Sure.
And then after that, you want to look at building life event funds. After securing your income and developing a strong savings habit, you want to work on growing your assets for significant life events like retirement or like major purchases. Maybe you want to have purchase an investment property, or you want to pay for your kid's wedding. You want to do that without breaking the bank, right? So then you look at life events, and then finally, contrary to what society pushes on us a lot of the time, you want to focus on paying off remaining debt last. That should be the last thing you do. Why? Because you should pay off debt from a position of financial strength. It's that simple.
Yeah.
And so by following these steps, just like constructing a building or a home, you create a comprehensive financial plan for long-term prosperity and peace of mind. And it really is that simple, but it is not always easily executable.
I love those shares. Some things that came out to me we were talking was, I think it's understandable why dentists have a dysfunctional relationship with debt, because we are immediately thrown into the deepest end of the debt ocean without any training and saying, hey, take out all this money to be a dentist, right? And then you're like, oh my gosh, I have all this debt. And then, there's different ways to analyze debt. I know you guys are the experts in it, but just as someone who's been through it, where taking out $1 million to do something can be wildly different depending on what that something is going to be. And then you also shared, Frank, important is that if you cannot go and what I call dentisting full contact arts and crafts on people who don't want to be there or pay for it, the exact opposite of Hamilton, the Broadway play, people are paying all kinds of money to go see Hamilton over and over again. They come see us. They don't want to pay for it. They don't want to be there. But if you cannot do those full contact arts and crafts, your income stops. And it's a vulnerable part of being a dentist. I think one of the things I like to share in my position at Dentist Job Connect is just that there are awesome parts of being a dentist, and then there's annoying parts of being a dentist, and it's important to be able to plan. That's why I think the next question for Dan is so important. How far out should you be looking when planning your financial future?
That's a great question. I get the combination of that is one, when do I start? And two, how far out should I be looking? I used the example on the website the other day. When's the best time to plant a tree? 50 years ago. When's the next best time? Right now. The thing is about our society, and we've touched on it already. Our society fails us in this space. They fail us on the education we need to handle all of our income that we're going to be earning, handle the assets, the insurances, the combination of how those pieces fit together. When we're looking to planning, the way that we personally do it is we literally pick you up and take you to the end and show you that, okay, if you're receiving an inheritance, for instance, here's how to maximize the receiving of the money, minimizing taxes, maximizing returns, and so forth. And by learning how to do that, you're also learning how to leave it behind if you choose to or want to. Then we work our way backwards into retirement and say, okay, what type of lifestyle do we want to look at in retirement? That's a hard one. And that's another space our society fails us on, especially our profession, because they go needs-based planning. Needs-based planning, you're thinking today. The reality of it is you're not retiring for a long time. So what you want to really think through is, okay, how can I maximize all areas without breaking the bank, so to speak? So then we work our way from retirement back into today. And what we want to teach people how to do is to understand the rules of the game so that they can use them to their advantage. And that's the beginning. And that's how it works. So just like we said earlier, laying that foundation is so key. The thing is, your life's going to change. Tax laws are going to change. Investments are going to change. So when to start? Immediately is the answer. When to look into the future? The entire time frame. Your financial timeline, there are things that you can do in the very beginning that sets you up for all the things that you're going to face along the way. And like Matt mentioned earlier, we have a lot of experience in this space. We have dentists who have passed away. We have dentists that are still in school and everything in between. I like to say, if you work with us, you don't have to bleed to learn, where most people do. They take their
I think what you could say, I like to say is, the value of using people who do what they do every day is they keep up with the rules of the game so you don't have to, right? Whether it was the wild and wacky world of accounting over the past 3 years, right? I mean, that was probably and dentists, you can use dentist words against them. Like, we have to keep up with technology and dentistry so you don't have to, right? And we all know as dentists how very difficult it is to keep up on the cutting edge. Things are changing in our dental clinical world, technology world daily in ways that are ultra cool, but they also cause a lot of energy and effort for us to keep up with our teams. And that's why working with people who do what they do every day is the way to go. And you guys have already used this theme of team the whole time. So I love that. Frank, what role does education play in your approach to financial planning?
I love this topic and I love this question. It plays a tremendously vital role, right? So when you are working with people's money, I mentioned this before, it's a very sensitive topic. There's a lot of natural skepticism involved and a lot of emotion intrinsically tied to those hard-earned dollars that you're working for, and rightfully so. And because of that, unless that trust already exists, it has to be quickly established for that relationship to be successful, right? But how do we generate trust out of thin air, right? So one of the ways that we quickly work to build trust with people, one of the ways is through a process that we utilize called living balance sheet, which allows us to organize your financial data in a way that educates you on its implications. And so by taking the time to break down complex financial concepts into digestible segments and utilizing plain language over financial jargon, which drives me crazy, right? Yeah. People understand financial jargon. We break that down into simple plain language. That allows the person to become much more empowered and knowledgeable around the why behind the strategies that we're recommending for them, which in turn fosters informed decision making. Because when you comprehend the rationale behind each recommendation, trust in the process and our expertise can naturally begin to flow. And additionally, the process that we utilize really allows us to drive transparency in real time by providing a comprehensive view of your entire financial background via an up-to-date snapshot, which includes your assets, liabilities, cash flow efficiency, and income protection measures. And that level of clear visibility really ensures that you're always aware and educated on your financial status, which continues the reinforcement of trust through openness and clarity. And so for us, providing financial education to our clients has proven to be an astonishingly successful gateway into helping them achieve financial clarity and confidence and stability. Education's the way to go.
I love it. We wear these, things around all the time that tell us, heart rates and things like that. We should do it for our financial selves, right? Because mine just says I'm the most fit 46-year-old ever. That's what it says when you open it up. Say perfect shape, perfect sleep. No, just kidding. But it's just, and the other thing I'll share is Mark. I believe the comedian's Mark Maroney has a very, very funny bit on like saving all of your old chargers, and he has the pieces from his Palm Pilot in case someone needs it one day. It's a hilarious. But we do that, right? We have this thing where we've saved these cords and wires, and do we need them? Do we not need them? And that happens, as someone who's 20 years into this, I can speak from my own experience. I can speak from Dennis. I know you wind up accumulating things that you think are helping your financial future. And at some point you don't stop and say, are these the right things for me right now? Right.
The financial junk drawer, right?
Yes. Yeah. So I love that. I'm going to go to Dan next and ask, what are the key components of a dentist's financial life that you consider when assembling their financial team?
Well, when assembling their financial team, there's a couple things. Like, it depends on where they are in their lives, is who we bring in first. But for example, for those dentists that are coming right out of school, like you said, they're going from a poverty-stricken college student into, a $300,000 owing and earning at the same time, that can be overwhelming. So one of the first places we start is we bring in our partners that we have that can help with the student loan component. The student loan component is a really piece that's tough to understand, and it puts us in a position immediately that puts us in a tough place. For those that don't know, your student loans are automatically set up to be paid off in 10 years. The shorter the time frame, the larger the payment, and that can affect a lot more than just the repayment. Because, for instance, if you're set up for a 10-year repayment schedule, that can eat up a significant amount of income, especially at $300,000 of student loans. By simply expanding those years out, and yes, the institutions will say, whoa, look at all this extra interest you'll pay. Yeah, but guess what? You'll also be significantly more attractive to lending institutions to help you get your business started, to get a mortgage, to get a car loan, and to get your life started financially. Simple little tweaks and understanding of how these things work can allow us to take that next step. Whereas someone that may be practicing for a number of years and are working on, hey man, I'm making a lot of money now, and I have a situation where most of us going out the door, it feels like, to taxes. Well, not only working with the right tax professionals and building that team around you, but also understanding the rules of the game of where else we can put our money and potentially recapture tax dollars that most people just let slip through their fingers. So, and then maybe someone else that may be stepping away or saying, hey, I'm looking to step away. We actually have resources that can help you get a valuation of your business of what it's actually worth. That's a $10,000 to $15,000 charge anywhere else. We can actually bring it to the table for no charge whatsoever for people we have a working relationship with, and then help them to determine, am I going to sell this to an outsider? Am I going to sell it to another dentist within the practice? Or am I just going to walk away? The strategies are different for all three of those. Right. And that's where the education comes in.
I think what you're talking about is what I think is important when you work with a team like you guys is I always say I kindly annoy dentists into making good decisions, right? Kindly annoy them into good decisions. Think about hiring an associate. Think about that you're holding them accountable. At least think of these things, right? I literally just talked to a dentist with an owner who said, I'm just going to practice till I don't feel like practicing anymore. Well, that's like kind of the worst plan ever, right? Because sometimes life makes you stop practicing against your own will. Sometimes the younger owner wants you to leave. Sometimes they don't want you to leave. So I think it's really key. Kind of fuses with this. how does your team collaborate to address complex financial situations like business ownership and family dynamics? Is there anything you want? You just kind of shared some things about these transition strategies, but anything you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is too, sometimes, like, let's say, for instance, a family-owned practice, and then let's say there's two children, and one of those children is a dentist as well, where the other one isn't. What do you do in that scenario? Well, they have estate equalization scenarios that you can work yourself into on the estate planning and business planning side. There's also, like you just mentioned too, what if we want them to stick around for maybe 5 years? Because if I'm buying your practice, Paul, and you walk away and a lot of your patients walk away with you, that's not going to be really good for me. So what are some ways to transition in and out? And are there ways to set up incentives for that dentist to be able to stick around and make it worthwhile for them to do this and hand over the practice in a way that makes it the business transition to keep those people or those patients, as a part of the overall practice? There are a lot of different strategies, and there's a lot of psychology behind it as well. When making that transition, not just for the person coming in, but for the person exiting. And we actually help tremendously in that space as well.
By the way, I was just saw one of my friends restoried a Ray Dalio quote about the goal in life is to make decisions that have more pros than cons, not try to find decisions that don't have any cons because they don't exist. And I'll follow up to what you said is, as someone who comes from a family dynamic with dentistry, there are some amazingly awesome parts of that. And then there's some very frustrating parts that do not exist without a family member. And I like my treatment plan. It's the only one I know, but I think it's just really important to put these into context because there are so many family affected big transitions that I've seen go really terrible, destroyed relationships, never allowed someone to launch financially. So I just love that part of it. I want to go to Matt next. Can you provide an example? I love positivity of how your team has helped a dentist achieve a major financial goal or overcome a significant challenge.
Yeah, I'll share too. And it speaks to some of the points that Dan and Frank already referenced earlier. I had a client graduating dental school who was probably the most debt-averse person I've ever met, he and his wife. They were losing sleep at night because of the $300,000 of student loans they had coming out of school. And so, we developed a plan where they could pay off all of their debt in around 3 years coming out of school, and doing that simultaneously while they were saving 15 to 20% of their income and properly protecting themselves. And so it took discipline. It took living below their means and not keeping up with the Joneses. They didn't go buy that $1 million house right away as soon as they could afford it. They didn't go buy that Tesla right away as soon as they could afford it. They avoided the really expensive vacations. But 3 years out of school, this person had paid off $300,000 of debt.
Wow.
Not only was that debt now paid off, but that was money that they were used to sending to the lending institution that was very easy for them to flip and now save.
Yeah.
Since then, because they're world-class savers now, and we focus so much on helping people save as much as they can, they bought the building their dental practices in cash.
Wow.
They've opened a dental clinic in a third world country because doing mission work and providing free dental care to those in need was always something that was important to them. And so, the initial steps of having a strategy on how to pay off the loan simultaneously while saving money allowed for that to kind of roll into these other things that were really important to them in life. And again,
I want to interject. I would say I interject with good ideas. I don't interrupt her, so I tell my wife, don't ask her, just believe me. One of the things that's so weird about dentistry is they charge dental students hundreds of thousands of dollars to get a degree. They don't talk about money at all. And they make it seem like it's magic to go treat people right and you'll make money, which is like literally the worst advice in the history of advice, right? And I always say you want to maximize the money that you make as a dentist to impact whoever you want to impact. You could impact your team. You could impact the charitable organization. You could impact yourself. You could impact your children, but you're working. You might as well maximize the money you can earn. And then what you do with that money is up to you. And I just think that sadly, dental school just sets the wrong tone for this mindset. And, that's something I'm working so hard to change with the help of great people like you.
Right, right. I'll give you one other example. Not everyone coming out of dental school is 26 years old.
Right.
There are a lot of people that uh, switched careers and are in their 30s or 40s in dental school, or moved to the US from another country and are going to dental school in the US or doing a residency again in the US. And so, we've worked with dentists over time that, because of the age they got into the career later than the typical dentist, felt like they were behind on saving for retirement. And one of the things that's unique about dentists is 70 to 80% of them own their own business. 70 to 80% are business owners.
Yeah, it's a,
So the benefit of being a business owner is that you can customize all of your benefits, all of your retirement plans to really meet the needs and desires of the dentist owner. And so for this person to catch up on being behind with that, we were able to transition from a simple IRA where they can put 15,500 a year away into a 401k that bumps up annual contributions to 22,500, to a profit sharing plan where you can put over 60,000 in, and ultimately to a cash balance plan where you can save over $200,000 a year, 100% tax deductible. For this dentist, they didn't realize when we first met that there were any options beyond the 401k and the 22,500.
yeah, I mean, I think expanding awareness, one thing that I can help you guys talk dentist to your dental clients, because we deal with, one of the things that might bond us together, dental pun intended, is, I don't know if this comes as a shock, many people don't trust us. They think that their $1,000 crown is buying a boat. And I want to say, which boat cost $1,000? But I just keep it in my head. And I say, I know crowns are expensive, Mr. Smith. So the dentist now playing the role of the patient. And one of the things I think I tell my patients is, my job is to make you aware of the full menu. My job is to make you aware of implants and this. And listen, if it's not for you, it's not for you. But at least when you leave here, you're going to know that there's more than what you just talked about, some traditional ways. Now, this kind of our final question. I want you guys to share how people can connect with you. But I love this one. How do you address the emotional and psychological aspects of financial decision making with your clients? Because dentists and everyone think that they're fact-driven, but feelings are really what matters most. I mean, this has been shown many times. So tell us about how you address, I think this is Dan here, emotional and psychological aspects of financial decision-making.
Thank you. I'm glad you let me run with this one, because this one's extremely important. The psychology behind money, we all have an emotional attachment to our money, and the problem with that is making decisions with your heart versus your brain. We've all done it. We all continue to do it. We all will always do it. By having a professional like Frank, like Matt, like myself alongside with you to extract that emotion from it and be able to help you make logical decisions will help tremendously, because emotional decisions and money mix about as well as oil and water. And our society is just like you said, Paul, the dental schools doesn't teach us how to handle the money that we're going to make. Nowhere in society does. Not only are we failed there by society, we're failed by our profession. We apologize for it all the time, because most of the people in our profession are pushing products, and most of those are investments. Understanding the psychology behind what you need to do to get to that next level, no matter where you are financially, is extremely important. And the ways to do that is understanding those rules of the game, and then having the motivational factors behind you, not only in the success, having the little wins and the successes, but also understanding and having clarity around what you're doing and why you're doing it. One of the things we like to tell people is every decision you've ever made, every decision you're making right now, and every decision you'll make in the future are connected to each other. And either it's going to be positive or negative on that impact, just like our teeth. If you're, as a baby, if you're chewing on a spoon the whole time, you're going to have issues later. The same thing in your financial life. If you're focusing on just eradicating debt, we're creatures of habit. And understanding that you are creatures of habit, understanding the rules of the game and how things work and what you're trying to achieve, and have motivational things like, I want to pay for my kids' college. I would like to retire early. I would like to be able to pass this business on to my children. And then the strategies behind that, and each step of the way, someone to turn to that you trust and like, and can say, hey, I forget what path were we on again?
Yeah, I love what you're sharing. And what I tell people is the role of I think there's just so many phrases out there that get confused. Coach, consultant, financial advisor, financial planner. But what I share is why you pay experts is because they're not emotionally invested in your life. So if you want to move across the country for a good job, don't ask your parents, because if they like you, they're going to say, oh no, that's no good, right? So you need people like you guys in your corner, just like you used to bring full circle the example of why Peyton Manning can't always call his own plays and execute those plays, and why Peyton Manning now could coach a young quarterback who can throw the ball a lot further than he can, but he now is the wise coach who could call these plays for them. And I think, calling your financial plays with people who are not emotionally invested in your life, it's so key. And as you guys have shared throughout this show, education is a key theme. Making sure you're talking to the right people is a key theme. Making sure you're, too many dentists, we always say keeping up with the Joneses. I want to meet them one day. I don't know who they are, but they're apparently the best people on earth. But, there's a lot of comparison things where they say, my friend's not doing that. Your friend's in a different situation. Someone who's single versus someone who's married, different situation. Somebody who graduated dental school at 26 versus 36, different situation. And I think, that's kind of what I really love bringing to the surface with these interviews, is how, just like we customize treatment plans for our patient's mouth, you guys customize financial treatment plans. I kind of want to give the last word to each of you. If you would please help our community know how they can reach out to you, right? Someone's listening to this, watching this, they say, oh my gosh, that sounds like me. I'm going to buy a practice. I'm going to do this. I'll start with Frank. If someone wants to reach out to you, Frank, just tell us once again what you do, who you are, what you do, and how someone could reach out to you.
Yeah, sure. Frank Rocchio, financial professional with his great team at Lifetime Financial Growth. If you want to reach out, directly on Dentist Job Connect, feel free to message me anytime. I'll give my phone number, 724-579-4498. You can call me directly, or you can hit up our website, which I think is shared here in the link, but it's actually danielspicker.com. You can meet our team on there, and you can reach out to any of us directly.
Awesome, Matt, I'll let you go next.
Yeah, Matt Binstock, same thing, part of Lifetime Financial Growth. And I would say, if you want to reach out to us, we're all regular contributors and a sponsor of Dentist Job Connect. And so just shoot us a message through Facebook Messenger, or reach out to yourself, Paul, or Serena, or Kate, or any of the experts at Dentist Job Connect. They can connect us directly. In addition to that, phone call or email is available. That we can make that available.
Yeah, we'll share that all in the notes here. And I appreciate you. Sometimes people are just driving and they want to, or working out at the gym and just kind of get us in. I'll go with Dan. You can wrap us up.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys said it best. Go to our website, connect with the Dentist Job Connect team. Website danielspicker.com. Feel free to go in there and peruse, but reach out to us. Reach out in a way that you're comfortable with. Like the guy said, online, you can hit us up through Facebook. You can hit us up through LinkedIn. I actually prefer you guys to go through Dentist Job Connect.
Sure.
I love the way that these guys take care of you in every aspect of your life, and we love the opportunity to enhance that by adding this extra feature to have our expertise in the background to be able to help you guys. So I really look forward to hearing from a number of you.
Awesome. Well, I am grateful. There's the highest level of thanks for you supporting us. I really am creating a world with our awesome team, because I say the more we care and share, the better dentist world we can build together. As you have noted, dentistry can be a very lonely profession, even though you're surrounded by people. And I truly appreciate you guys helping us do more of that. Thanks so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate you and the DJC team. Thank you so much.